Hey, Magic friends, welcome back. We got a doozy today. New Capenna leaks for 412. We got quite a few. I'm guessing around 30-ish. There's a buttload, so let's get started. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comments down below if you use YouTube algorithm. This is your captain speaking. Tray table and seat backs to full upright position. We're heading on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Please do everything you can to help out. Hit that subscribe button. Also, there's links in the description to Patreon, eBay, and the email. Feel free to hit them up. So let's get started because we've got a long ways to go today. First off, we have Darling of the Masses. So white, green, 2 for a 2/4 uncommon. Citizens get +1/+0, and whenever the masses attacks, you get a 1/1 green, white citizen token. This seems like an amazing uncommon. It's going to be great for limited. May even see a little bit of standard play. Probably even a little bit of commander, maybe. Moving right along. We have Rocco Cabaret Caterer. Caterer? Yeah, Caterer. White, green, red, and X. It's a 3/1. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. This is going to be amazing in limited. Great in commander. I don't know if it's going to see any standard play. I mean, it might, just because you get to 6 mana, you can literally go get extra stuff. Um, This might even see a little modern play or what have you, because you can cast for 0 and get a 0 cost card, or for 4 and get something out of your deck like a Death Shadow. Um, maybe maybe a Mim Knight or an Ornithopter. There's lots of possibilities with this, so let's see how kind of brewing happens with this bad boy. So moving on, next we have the Cabaret Courtyard. So this uncommon says when it enters the battlefield, you sacrifice it. When you do, you search your library for a basic mountain, forest, or plains. Put it in the battlefield tap, and you gain 1 life. These lands are going to be amazing. This is the fetch land fix, basically, for Pioneer. And obviously, also for Standard. It's going to be this is going to be an all-star uncommon, I think. Except for the older formats that actually have access to fetch lands. Any format, Pioneer, what have you, that has no access to fetch lands, this is going to be the replacement for some short time. So these commons are easily going to be $2 to $3, and the foils maybe 20. So moving right along. Next we have the Elegant Entourage. Boy, they are elegant. Anyway, green and 3 for a 4/4. That's good rate. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, your control target creature other than Elegant Entourage gets +1/+1 and gains trample to end of turn. This is going to be a great card for limited. This could probably even see standard play, to be honest with you, just because of the +1 ability, gets trample. Um, Maybe not standard, definitely limited. I just think this might be playable in standard for 4 mana. It starts with 1 green. So yeah, probably nowhere else though. Next we have the Fleetfoot Dancer. So for white, green, red, and 1, you get a 4/4 with trample, lifelink, and haste. This is like Siege Rhino's brother from another mother. This thing is going to be huge while it's in standard. Obviously great and limited. Probably will even see some commander play and maybe some pioneer play. 4 mana's gonna keep it out of a lot of formats, but in those formats where you can get this kind of mana, oh man, 4/4 trample, lifelink, haste just seems amazing. Next we have the body dropper. So for red black, you get a 2/2. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, this guy's +1/+1 counter, which is sweet. And for black and red, you can sacrifice another creature and the dropper gets menace. So you can actually pump him and give him menace. This seems like a real good common for limited and standard. Probably won't see anything else, honestly. Unless, just because the pay and the mana is probably a little too much for Rakdos decks or sacrifice decks in general. So, but we'll see a little bit of play. Next, we have Attended Socialite. So for a green and 1, you get a 2/1. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, this Socialite gets +1/+1 in a turn. Basically a 3/2 for 2. Great for limited, probably as far as it's going. All right, Social Climber. We have green and 2 for a 3/2. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Good for limited, probably as far as it goes. Next, we have Incandescent Aria. So for a white, red, and green, it deals 3 damage to each non-token creature. This seems pretty good. Um, Decent board wipe. Might see some standard play. Limited's going to be real touch and go just because limited has a tendency to have bigger creatures than 3. But I can see this being very playable. Yeah. Next we have the sizzling socialist. Soloist. So for red and 3, you get a 3/2. Has alliance, so when another creature comes into the battlefield under your control, target creature an opponent controls can't block this turn. If this is the second time this ability has been resolved this turn, that creature attacks during its controller's next combat phase if able. Probably be fine in limited, about as far as it's going to go. However, in commander, tons of fun shenanigans with this bad boy. Next, we have the unlicensed hurst. 2 for an artifact vehicle. So you tap it, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. The Hurst's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards exiled with it. Okay, so it's a 2/2, then a 4/4. Cruise for 2. Also eats up graveyard, which graveyard stuff is a big thing right now. I think this has legs in several formats. Standard, definitely. Limited, probably. This might even see some play in Pioneer. I believe it probably will, and maybe Modern, but I doubt it just because it doesn't do anything other than that. But who knows? Having an ability to nuke somebody's graveyard and then make it a creature to punch him in the face and kill him could be good enough. Next we have Venom Connoisseur. So green and 1 for 2/2 alliance. When another creature enters the battlefield, it gains Death Touch. If it's the second time it happens, all creatures you control gain Death Touch. Okay, so this is gonna be busted in limited. And to be honest, probably going to be busted in standard because green stompy or green white stompy with this thing, give all your tokens death touch. Yeah, just disgusting. Next we have High Park Pegasus. Very interesting. So for green and white, you get a 2/1 Pegasus that's flying and trample. It's got flample, boys. Look out, it's got flample. This is an amazing rate. Whenever the deals combat damage to a player, draw a card if 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So that's a lot to ask for, but it says creatures entering the battlefield. So if you're playing a token deck and you could pop out some creatures and then draw a card off of this thing, punching somebody in the face for 2, God, this seems good. And just 2 mana for a 2/1 flyer with trample, it seems good as well. I think it's $5, easy limited superstar, maybe even standard all star. Uh, Probably as far as it goes, it might see a little play in Pioneer, maybe even Modern, in a kind of Jund style deck that maybe has white in it. So it wouldn't be Jund, maybe Bant or something. Anyway, point being something where Lingering Souls can come in with it and draw you a bunch of cards, maybe. Next we have Smuggler's Stash. So we have a mythic. So for a green and 5, you get an artifact. That just says lands you control have tapped, create a treasure token. So we have already seen um, the red green enchantment for 4 that brings in 2 artifacts and then lets you sacrifice artifacts for 1/1s. So you lay that on 4, that you already have 6. So then you get to lay this, start pumping out treasures, and then start pumping out little dudes. I think this is going to be close to Great Henge style. We're talking 25, 30, maybe $40, especially in Commander. Oh God. Limited, it probably won't do a whole lot just because treasure tokens aren't that prominent, but you'd also have to have the other card to combo with it. Now in Standard, I think it's going to be very powerful because there's lots of treasure token stuff going around. Yeah, easily 20, 30, $40 card. Probably $75 foil. Yeah, this thing's going to be nuts. Next, we have the Celebrity Fencer. So for a white and 3, you get 3/2. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, +1/+1 counter goes on it, so it becomes a 4/3. This thing get big quick. Good common for limited, probably as far as it goes. Next, we have Tainted Indulgence. Indulgence, that's the word. So black and a blue for an instant where you get to draw 2 cards and discard a card unless there are 5 or more mana values among the cards in your graveyard. This is disgusting. Um, this thing is so good. Uh, 2 mana draw 1, 2 mana look at 2, draw 1, discard 1. Well, okay, so it's 2 mana draw and then discard from your hand. This thing's just amazing. I don't know what else to say. This thing's gonna be a $2-3 common and probably a $5-10 foil because it's just bonkers. I mean, It's even an instant, so it's not even like it's a sorcery. If it's a sorcery, it'd be worse, obviously, for one. But as an instant, this thing's insane. It probably should have been a rare or close to it. Next, we have Obscura Initiate, a blue and 2 for a 2/2 flyer for a white or black and 1. It gains lifelink to the end of the turn. Decent common, good for limited. Next, we have Fatal Grudge. So for a red and a black, you sacrifice a non-land permanent. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control that shares a type of the sacrifice permanent. They sacrifice it, and then you draw a card. This says Commander all over it. Not to mention, it's a good removal spell just in Standard and Limited. This might be good in Pioneer. Heck, it could be good in Modern. I think this is going to be one of those $2-3 cards with a high dollar foil. Dang, this set seems like it's going to be really good. Angelic Observer. So for a white and 5, you get a 3/3. Costs 1 less for each citizen you control. So you can easily cast this on turn 4. Not too shabby. Great for limited. May see standard play, but I doubt it. Alright, here we go. What I was really happy to see. Void Rend. Black, blue, and white. Can't be countered. Destroy target non-land permanent. This thing is the bomb. Gonna be amazing in standard, amazing in limited, probably amazing in commander. May see pioneer play. This may even make it into modern for what it does. Just because it's the other colors that Abrupt Decay is not, and obviously except for black. But again, not counterable and destroys anything of any size, anywhere, anytime. Yeah, seems good. Next we have Jenny Faye, Jetmers second. Jenny Faye. Anyway, a white or a green, and then a green, and then a red or a green, or just 3 greens. You get a legendary elf root. It's 3/3. When you create one or more tokens, you may instead create that many 2/2 green crack creature tokens with haste, or that many 3/1 green dog tokens with vigilance. Yep. So this is the thing that's going to go on with that cat dog commander thing. This is going to be like a $10 card. I mean, not only is it good 3 green for a 3/3 with this weird ability in limited, it's going to be amazing in standard where you can pack your deck to make things that are tokens. And it's going to be amazing in commander because it's got 3 colors in it as a commander or one of the 99. So 95. I mean, not 100. Whatever. Point being, this card's going to be great. $5-10 easy. This border in foil, probably $50. Moving right along, next, we have the Avon Heart Stabber, black and blue, flying. 1/1, as long as there are 5 more mana values among cards in your graveyard, he gets +2/+2 in Death Touch, making him a 3/3. When he dies, you mill 2 cards and then draw a card. So this thing is just nuts. Again, a black-blue card that's a 1/1. If it has Death Touch, hallelujah. If it doesn't and it dies, it replaces itself. But God, it's just so good. This thing's going to be amazing. Great for standard, great for limited, great for commander, probably great for pioneer. I don't think it's going to see modern play because modern doesn't play things that are 4 or 5 mana values half the time. So this guy will never have Death Touch or be valuable. But mill 2, draw 1. You never know. Alrighty, next we have Cunning Receiver. For a white and a blue, you have a human citizen. When he enters the battlefield, you choose a non-land permanent. Abilities of that permanent chosen can't be activated. Wow. Cunning Receiver has all the activated abilities of the chosen permanent except for loyalty abilities. You can spend mana as if they were mana of any color to activate these abilities. This is dumb. Yeah, first off, it's 2/3 for 2. Second, you can steal the abilities of anything but a planeswalker. Good God. This just seems amazing. Yeah, I like it. Good in limited, good in standard, good in commander, amazing in commander, good in pioneer. Heck, modern might even see this bad boy in a couple sideboards, if not main decked in humans. Next we have Sanguine Spy. For a black and 2, you get a Vampire Rogue, Menace, and Lifelink 2/3. Not bad. 1, sacrifice another creature you control. Look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. At the beginning of your end step, if you have 5 or more different mana values among cards in your graveyard, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. Very interesting. Gonna be good in limited and commander probably. Won't see any play outside of that. It might see play in standard. I just think this card's asking for a lot to make it good. especially at 3 mana. I just don't think it's going to be a standard powerhouse, but man, I could be wrong. Next, we have Dusk Abomination. So for 2 black and 5, you get a 5/4 horror. Additional cost of the spell, sacrifice a creature, discard a card, or pay for life. Good God. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. Okay, so on second thought, I mean, it's okay, I guess. Limited All-Star by every stretch of the imagination. If you can power this out early in like a standard deck or pioneer deck, maybe, where you can just make your opponent just go, just like take the trifecta of suck, it's probably gonna be pretty good. Commander definitely, because it says each opponent, so yeah, like eat you some of that. Commander might be the only thing that's gonna drive the price on this up to a couple bucks. Foil's gonna be a arm and a leg probably, but anyway, we have the treasure truck. That sounds like a good car. Red 3 for a 3/3 vehicle with trample. Whenever the treasure truck does combat damage to the player, create a treasure token. For each artifact they control, crew 3. This gets out of hand quick. Very interesting here. It says it's a 3/3 with the card says 5/5 trample. So yeah. Great and limited. Maybe good standard. And probably commanders about the only places it's going to go. Next, we have the Angel of Separation, Mythic, 2 black and 3 for a 5/3 Angel Nightmare with flying. Whenever you take damage, prevent it and mill twice that many cards instead. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Probably going to be great and limited just because it flies and it's huge. In standard, maybe okay. We'll have to wait and see. The whole mill thing kind of prevent you from dying if you're low on life. Maybe enough to make this win a few games for you. It may push it above because it's not legendary, so we'll have to wait and see. Commanders are definitely going to run this because, yeah, mill out my 100-card deck. Go for it. So, moving right along. Witty Insulter. So, for red and 2, you get a Devil's Citizen. It's a 3/2. It has Alliance. So, when another creature comes into the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I mean, it's fine for limited, and Commander will probably like it because of giggles. But other than that, it's not going to do anything. Next, we have Contracted Thug. For a green and 4, you get a Rhino Warrior. It's a nice suit. Anyway, whenever Contracted Thug attacks, it gets +X/+X in your turn, where X is equal to the greatest power and toughness among other creatures you control. So by himself, he's a 4/4. If anybody else comes out to play, he is a beast. Great for limited. Probably about it. Next, we have the Tavern Swindler. So for a black and 1, you have a human rogue. For tapping and paying 3 life, you can flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6. Is this a reprint? It's a 2/2. I think there's something like this that done this before, right? But I don't think it was called Tavern Swindler. Anyway. I don't think it's really worth it. Just because it doesn't really do a whole lot. Next, we have Syndicate Infiltrator. For blue, black, and 2, you get a Vampire Wizard with flying. He gets +2/+2 as long as you have 5 or more cards in your graveyard different values. So 4 mana, 5/5 with flying. Pretty good. Limited All-Star, probably even a standard All-Star for 4 mana. Probably about as far as it goes, though. Next, we have the Expert Rescuer. For a white and 2, you get 3/2 with lifelink. It's a human rogue. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. That creature can't attack or block until the control expert. Until you cannot do that while you control the rescuer. So basically, you get stuff back, and then you send this guy to his death so he can come back out. I think it's going to have a lot of play. I think it's going to be good in limited. It's going to be amazing in standard, pioneer, and probably even modern, to be honest with you. Just because getting stuff out of your graveyard, like a snappy for 3, yeah. Like, if you make it to 6 mana or even 5 mana, like you lay this, grab a snappy, then cast a cantrip. Like, there's lots of possibilities this thing can do. So I think it's going to see a lot of play. Next, we have Obscura Theater. This is the one that goes fetches the Plain Swamp or Island when it comes into play. Gain a life, yada yada yada. Great card. Moving on. Sleep with the Fishies. 2 blue and 2 enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature and you create a 1/1 blue fish creature token with this creature is unblockable. The enchanted creature doesn't untap. Good removal for blue. Great for limited, far as it goes. Next we have the Cabaret Ascendancy. Ah, here we go. Red, green, and white enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature or planeswalker card, you may reveal it, put it into your hand. If you don't, you may put it at the bottom of your library. Man, that's really good. Um, Limited, probably pretty good. Standard, probably going to be amazing. And probably Pioneer play and definitely Commander. These Ascendancies seem really good for Commander, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how they pan out. Next we have Psionic Snoop. Blue and 2 for an 0/3 with flash. When it enters the battlefield, it convenes, so you can make it a 1/4. Not too bad. Maybe for limited, about it. We have Buy Your Silence, so a white and 4. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a treasure token. This seems like removal for white, and it's bad removal. But it does exile, so in the world of limited format, will probably be good enough for limited. Refuse to yield. A white and 2, and the creature gets +2/+7 until end of turn. Untap it. Yeah. Step aside, righteousness. Refuse to yield has come into town, which righteousness was better than this. But it untaps, gives you a trick. This thing seems amazing. Limited All-Star, probably as far as it goes. Next we have Shadow of Mortality. Look at that. So, 2 black and 13 for a 7/7. If your life total is less than your starting life total, this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the difference. So if you're at 7 life, this is 2 mana for a 7/7. This is just another Dash Shadow. With that said, this is going straight to Modern. Probably going to be good enough, honestly, for Limited and Standard as well. Probably Pioneer, Commander. Like, this is going to see a lot of play everywhere. This is going to be a very pricey card. Moving right along, next we have Knockout Blow. White and 2, costs 2 less if you target a red creature with it. Deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and you gain 2 life. This seems amazing for Limited, and great for Standard. Just because 4 damage target attacking or blocking creature for 3 is not bad. Gaining 2 life is also good. It'll stop a lot of rush decks. And if you're playing against red rush, it's even better because it's 1 white for all that. Gain 2, deal 4 damage, kill a creature. And it slices, it dices, it makes julienne fries. This will be great in even sideboards for Modern because you come against a red deck, red deck wins or whatever. 1 white to gain 2 life and kill their creature. Who don't want that? Like, I think this card is going to have a lot of legs. It's probably see a lot of play. Moving right along, next we have Rabble Rousin. A white and 4 for an enchantment with Hideaway 5. If you don't know, Hideaway means you look at the top 5 cards, pick one, the rest go on the bottom. You exile the one you pick, and when you meet the condition, you can cast it. The condition on this is whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, create that many 1/1 green and white citizen tokens. If you then control 10 or more creatures, you may play the exile card without paying its mana cost. This seems too easy to do. Yeah, because every time you attack with a creature, you get a creature. You attack with 1 creature, you get 1/1/1. You attack with 2, you get 2 1/1s. This seems really busted. This is going to be great in Limited, probably broken in Standard. Commander's going to love this thing. Heck, Pioneer might be playing this. I know it's 5 mana, but cut me some slack. There's things to get done. I think this is going to be a sleeper of the format, or sleeper of the set, that people aren't realize how good it is until somebody breaks it. Moving right along. Next we have, oh look, we did it. We got through all of them and it only took 25 minutes. Well, 24:13. Mark on the calendar. So with all that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you staying the whole time with me. And as always, till next time, be kind. And I hope to see you across the game table at the pre-release. Later.